Stock of the Day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. Trade over 17,000 markets with extended trading hours on key US shares and competitive spreads, all on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.
All right, stock of the day. Thought we'd take a look at Viva Leisure after Christmas. Every year there's a rush to the gym as folks overcommit to their New Year resolutions. Also, because today we learned Viva will expand its Plus Fitness brand into the UK with the execution of a master franchise agreement. The first location set to open in 2025, spanning 10 years with the option for 2 additional 10-year terms after that. It's part of Viva's larger push into international markets, down slightly on the back of that announcement. Jonathan, what do you think, first up, of Viva Leisure? And secondly, the expansion plans.
Okay, so Viva Leisure, I'll have a look at it. Basically, the gym industry is tough. We've obviously had a peak movement, maybe 5-6 years ago, where pretty much any empty spot was retail or just turned into a gym. We had that F45 debacle as well throughout the last few years. And what Viva's done now is they've kind of just streamlined their package offerings and basically concentrating on their Plus Fitness. Like, they do have some other brands there. I saw that they bought World Gym, or 25% of it, a few months back. So I was looking at their presentation from about 6 months ago. They've actually got the second number in terms of locations. They're second largest in Australia now.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So behind Anytime Fitness.
Right.
So what they have is a franchise model. So in the UK, what they'll do is they'll just people choose spots, pay a franchise fee, and then they run all the systems behind it. So we're buying into the actual master franchise there.
Right.
I do like the fact that they are expanding. They've cut their expenses and they're getting quite lean. Thing is that it's a very, very tough industry for me to see. Okay, do I see expansion here? So from what I see from the chart, it's actually just been basing out and just going sideways for a long, long time. The last few announcements haven't actually caused the share price to move higher. So unfortunately, I can't see this. We've had some more news as well, and this hasn't moved the trigger. So it'll have to be some other, something else that drives the share price or changes the narrative. So for me, it's a whole.
It is amazing. All of those gyms became like the new coffee shops, didn't they? Remember 10, 15 years ago, coffee shops just appeared in every foyer of every major building, so sprung up everywhere. The same with gyms at the moment. You find it. You think hard, how's it going to make any money? But
yeah, well, the ones that are quite successful are the ones that are almost cult-like the CrossFit ones. They're very tribal, they have a very strong base, but the problem is that model isn't scalable. You basically need a really strong figure to run that gym, and unless you can duplicate that, which you can't, it doesn't work. So what they've done with the Plus Fitness is go with the sort of the more economical model, franchise it out and try and expand that way.
Right, but a hold from you, Philip?
Look, I tend to agree. I mean, I like this business. It's not just another gym business. They spend a lot of time and money analysing their clients' data, so they can tell you when you swiped in, how long since you visited a gym. Say if you don't go for 2 weeks, you get an email asking, is everything okay? Do you need to you need to tinker with your membership? And they try to avoid, or tend to avoid, CBD locations where the rent's a killer. Everyone pays the same for equipment. It's the rent that costs you. So they tend to stick to the suburbs because people either train where they live or where they work. Because strange as it sounds, if it's difficult for people to exercise, they won't exercise. Right? So you're not going to exert effort if you can't do it easily. So they tend to focus around where people live and give you sorts of options. So it kind of makes sense, and they understand the customers well. But that works in certain markets. There's only so many of those. So again, they bought into World Gym recently, which what I would call a traditional meathead gym, not a low bells and whistles gym that their mainstream brand is. And small Aussie companies pushing into overseas, pushing into the UK. No, it's not their first foray. They're in New Zealand, India, Singapore, Philippines. It's kind of like, really? I'd rather see profits grow in Australia before you move offshore. Right. Company translation may be an issue for them. Weak Aussie dollar. It's a franchise model, but if they're having to buy equipment currently at current rates, it's going to cost them. It looks cheap. It's only covered by 2 brokers, according to FactSet. If you believe their numbers, it is a screaming buy, but they've got solid growth factored in for 25 and 26.
And you think cost of living crisis that, you know, we've got the mid-year economic review coming out tomorrow. It's going to be pretty ugly from the Treasurer. So economy slowing. Is a gym membership sort of on the disposal list?
For some people, it's non-discretionary. It's part of their health management plan.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who have a gym membership and might go once a week, might go twice a week. During COVID, they switched to home exercise and they might do that. So that's the debate, and that's probably why share price still hasn't recovered to pre-COVID levels, because people have that debate. Do you need a gym membership? Do you need a coffee per day? My answer is hell yes. What are you people talking about? But for a number of people as well, not really. But also just the simple saturation of gym memberships puts a cap on price increases. Yeah. The advantage they have with their Plus Fitness is it's cheaper. It's like so much, I think $8 a week. So you can, the World Gym is 30 plus a week. So it's interesting that they've gone top end, going into an affordability crisis that we're in. Yeah. So, but it is a debate, which is why people probably put this stock aside in terms of, well, it's not a must-have. So I'm going to call it a hold. I'm going to watch with interest how they deliver in the next 6 to 12 months. If you believe consensus, it's cheap. But it was cheap 12 months ago and it's traded sideways. So I'll call it a hold because I want to see some decent earnings growth come through before I think government
Fair enough.
Get more attention.
All right, hold for our stock of the day, Viva Leisure.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Trade over 12,000 shares and ETFs, including major tech giants with extended hours on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.